Hi everyone, this is Kat of Catalyst Holistic Life Coaching, and today I'm here to do your weekly guidance reading for the week of September 23rd through the 29th. So we have a lot going on this week already. We just shifted into the autumnal equinox, so we're now officially also in the sign of Libra. So we're also in the part of the seasons where it's equal day and equal night. So we're kind of starting to shift into the more darker periods, so really kind of going to internal stuff. And then at the end of the week, we also have a new moon in Libra. So we really have this chance for a new start. What we've kind of been releasing since the full moon, what I had talked about before, where there was a lot of letting go and maybe a lot of hurt going on. And so now that we're moving into Libra, Libra is really a focus on relationship. And that doesn't always necessarily mean romantic relationships. That can mean your relationship with yourself or your relationship with co-creating around you, or just your close relationships with family in general. So that can kind of be highlighted over the next little bit, and also just a time for finding balance and harmony and actually trying to understand and work with each other, since we've also been looking to release these old patterns of ours. Now is the time to look to how do we re-find our balance and co-create with those sorts of things. So we'll begin with the 3-card reading. I am switching it up a little bit and using the Wild Unknown Tarot. And then instead of a animal spirit guide, I decided to use a Healing with the Fairies card because I felt like we were going through a lot of heavy energy over the last couple weeks, and we really just kind of need a little bit of an uplifting message. So those are really nice, gentle cards. So we'll start with the first card. I've been having this one pop up quite a bit. We have the Tower. So the Tower can represent sudden change with the lightning bolts, a revelation or a sudden shock to the system. It can tear down the foundation of what once was to make way for something new. So it can kind of come either in the form of being something so dramatic and shaking everything up that it completely flips everything around, or it can just be the chance to rebuild something in a much more positive way, setting up a foundation for something that it just wasn't working the way that it was before, that it needed to come down because it wasn't serving us. So this could be, if we are kind of focusing in the Libra area, this could have to do with close relationships, your interactions with people, or this could potentially be for some of you a job or ways that you had your foundation set up, ways that you thought you were building your life up might just come crashing down. And I know that that sounds kind of daunting, but in reality, if it was built on a strong foundation and it was meant to work out, it wouldn't be going through this change. And that's what we're all about, is changing and adapting as we learn to grow and actually create the life that we want. So this is definitely a very potent energy. It can definitely come out of nowhere and be really shocking with the lightning strike. But lightning also brings illumination, and the fire brings new growth to change. So it doesn't have to be looked at in a negative way. For the second card, we have the Sun of Pentacles in reverse. So the suns in this deck represent the knights. So this could be a financial loss. You thought maybe something was going to come through financially, since this does have to do with coins and pentacles. Maybe for some of you, this is having to do with a job or something that was supporting you, and it didn't quite come through the way that you had hoped. If it does have to do with relationship wise, maybe you were waiting for this message of commitment, or someone really coming forward, and maybe they just haven't quite done that yet. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to. This is someone who is very brooding and feels alone, like they're on their own journey, and they're kind of facing a shadow self. They're really determined, they're really dedicated, but they're just really kind of on their own hard journey that they're going on. And so with it being in the reverse, I don't get the sense that it's not that they're not going to come forward. I get the feeling for some of you that this is just someone who may be really scared, or could potentially just be figuring out how to best offer this to you before they feel ready to really kind of stand strong and continue to push forward. And maybe that's the revelation in this situation, is there could be a sudden change, and they could actually decide how to offer this to you, and it could be something totally different than what you were prepared for. And maybe there are some that just aren't ready to do this, and that is kind of upsetting to you. But it doesn't always mean something really negative. It could just be the potential for some more inner growth and some more understanding. And then for our third card, we have the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles has to do with a mourning or a sense of worry or loss. And so if this does have to do with financially, you could be really just starting to stress over this situation and not really sure, like you're just down in the dumps. You think nothing is going right. There's no hope for me in this situation. But there's always hope. There's always, it may have started out of as a flower, and especially since we're moving into this autumn time, the flowers and everything is starting to kind of die. Trees are starting to change and lose their leaves, and everything is starting to kind of slumber and go to sleep. And so, especially since we had this message of harvest moon, like really cultivating what was working and letting what didn't die, that doesn't mean that there is no chance to plant new seeds and new potential to come through. And so this is really asking you not to focus so much on just the loss and how you don't need to have this anxiety about it. You can definitely have a period of mourning and feel upset. That's always the best way to process and continue to move forward. But also try to see the potential for new growth, the potential to keep going, because this is just one cycle in one part of everything. It continues to move, whether it's in an upward direction or a downward direction. It never stays in one place for very long. And so this could be romantically, like maybe you're starting to really, some of you are starting to really like lose hope and let this kind of die away because this person hasn't made themselves available to you. And so this could also be your energy where you're feeling very just uncertain of how to continue to push forward. You're not sure how to keep going after having this revelation. But with this revelation, obviously the sparks of the fire are going to continue to create this new growth. And when we continue to move forward through the year, I see this as really a time to enter into yourself and really see, where did the foundation go wrong? What was I building on that wasn't strong enough? And how can I rebuild that so that I know where I stand strong and I can be supportive in myself? Whether this does have to do with financial means or romantic means, you always want to be strong within yourself before you try to enter into these things anyway, because you don't want to be carrying baggage into things and repeating old subconscious patterns and creating the same effect over and over. That's always like the most heartbreaking part, is of being aware of our patterns and not being able to break past them. So allowing yourself to feel these feelings of loss, of upset, and just thinking of, where can I make these changes for the better? What can I learn from this situation? And so this could continue from what we talked about last week about the letting go, about processing everything that's not good for us. And this could be like the final straw that finally makes you say, no, I'm done feeling like this. I want to pick up the pieces and just really charge forward and be committed to myself and be committed to what I love, but allow myself to, feel these feelings of loss and mourning. So then, for our healing message from the fairies, it definitely sounds like we might need it. We have family harmony. So yeah, if this does have to do, either this could maybe have to do with a spouse, it could be a sudden change in the household, things could be moving around and changing. Maybe you had a certain family dynamic that doesn't work for you anymore, or it just doesn't flow together well for the good of everybody in the household. Or this could be the financial strike that makes you realize that something needs to be changed in order to create the balanced life that you want. There is still going to be this sense of people that you can depend on, and really helping to create balance even in this tumultuous time. So if you have children, being around your children, if you have close family members like siblings or parents, like really trying to connect with them, connect with your spouse. And if you're particularly having difficult times, especially with whatever revelation this may come as, really trying to focus, still having loving thoughts towards these people. Even with feeling heartbroken, you don't want to lash out and be really defensive and closed off. You want to still show love towards these people because they are connected with you, and you are taking another step to be able to show that I am feeling all of these emotions, but I still want to be there for those that I love, and I need the support of my loved ones too. So not being afraid to also ask for support from others, and giving and receiving love between everyone. Yeah. All right. I think that's all I have for you guys today. If you would like a more personal reading for the week, I do offer that, or monthly readings. If that really resonated with you, please let me know. I love to hear your stories. You can even private message me to discuss more about it. I will be back this weekend to do your new moon reading as well for the new moon in Libra. And we will also be adding some more classes that I will be teaching around town. I may have a couple other studios I may be teaching at. So yeah, really excited for some of the things that are coming to fruition right now. So I'll be really excited to share that with you guys. And yeah, be gentle with yourselves this week. Really take care to nourish the nervous system, especially with this, if this shocking information comes out. Being sure for a lot of self-care and good food and water. We're starting to get cold up here in Montana, so preparing for all these kind of shifts. Eat lots of soups and good foods. So I'm sending love your way. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.